Sad day. A couple of Game 7 losers coming at you on a Tuesday after the long weekend.
Hey.
NHL Puck Props presented by Sports Interaction. Josh Ingles, Dave Bastel. Sports Interaction has you covered for all these picks. Download the app. There's a big difference between how we lost Game 7s. Let's be honest.
There is. Well, 6 for me. 6 for me. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, when I say Game 7, it felt like Game 7. Obviously,
well, it was.
where I was.
You lose, you go home,
I think
right?
I posted 2 Game 7 losers coming at you, and it wasn't obviously.
Ding, ding.
How heavy as a Jets fan was that game to go from obviously the news with Mark Scheifele's dad, which was absolutely devastating, to be like, okay, he's going to go. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
To get that early goal, to not get a penalty shot, to get the penalty that carried over into overtime, and then that pan after the Harley goal to 55 in the box.
Yeah. 55 to 55, essentially, right? So it was weird, man. I found out on Saturday morning before it was released to the public that something bad has happened to the Jets. And I was thinking, injury? I mean, a lot of times in practice you find out, oh, he did something in practice and now he's done, aka Joseph Wall last season, right? And then to hear that, it was like not knowing the dad or anything like that. I was even like gutted for him. It's, you go out there and you cheer for the win, of course, but after that loss and after the effort they put on the ice, I wasn't as mad as if that wouldn't have happened. Did I feel like garbage? Yeah, but I felt more for him because we don't know the parents, but we've gotten to know Mark over the last couple of years. We've met him several times. Anytime I go to Winnipeg, I always go to the private optional skates and he's always there. He's met my daughter. I have like hockey sticks of him, pucks of him, pictures of him. He actually knows us to see us. So we're not tight like me and my buddy Sean over there, but it was tough, man. It was tough. And fantastic effort by the team on that night. And it feels like a long time ago, but it really wasn't. But the effort was there, and I thought, man, if they could push this to a 7th game, I think we might have something here. But it didn't happen. The Dallas Stars, I think, are my selection to win the Stanley Cup right now out of the 4 remaining. I think they're that good. Yeah, it's, the effort was there. It's just I wish that effort was there throughout the entire postseason because it really was.
You were dodging some Dadonov bullets early in that game too.
Yep.
Like there were some wide open nets where it's like, how are you guys missing this? And it worked out. You got the first goal. And then didn't have to sweat through much through overtime. But Yahtzee in the comments says, as a Jets fan, would you have rather had the penalty shot instead of the power play?
Yes.
In hindsight?
Yes. I was, at the time, because it was Sam Steele, I was like, yeah, let him shoot. I mean, because if you beat it and talk about a movie scenario, right? Because it's like you score that for the Dallas Stars and you're like, whoa. And if you stop that, if you're Connor Hellebuck, like if I'm betting Sam Steele versus Connor Hellebuck, I will bet Connor Hellebuck 100 out of 100 times that he's stopping that penalty shot in that situation.
15%, 10%, 1 to 10, maybe where you'd put Sam Steele versus Hellebuck on that breakaway, or on that penalty shot.
Yeah. I mean, it was a penalty, Josh, right? It was a penalty.
100%. And it was a penalty that should have been a penalty shot,
Correct.
But they were too afraid to call it in an elimination game with 30 seconds?
3 strides, right? 3 strides. Yeah. And it was there, right? So, but man, I don't know. I think, yeah, the reason we're feeling differently is because of that's what happened to the Jets and effort wise and so forth. And the effort wise probably can't be said with the Toronto Maple Leafs in games 5 and 7. The momentum building from 6 into 7. I thought, man, you guys might have something here because
they don't know what momentum is. Stop it.
Oh, come on. You go to Florida and you win a game like that. You think in your head,
you came home to that hostile crowd in Toronto, Dave. And it's tough. Hey, 6th man of the year, the 12th man, the 11th man. I don't know. Yeah,
whatever it is, exactly.
Yeah, CFL, NFL. How many people are on the field in the football game? I don't know. Nick Press says, "What about playoff Hellebuck?" He was great in that game. He was, and that was that's sad that was his best road game. And he still goes 0-10 in his last 10 road games, which is kind of crazy. But I mean,
and I can't wait for all the sports companies to come up with, he's 0-10 in his last 10 next season. That's going to be awesome. I'm going to love that. I'm going to love that. I'm not going to smash any TVs when I see that. I promise. So
it's true.
Yeah, I know, but it's next year's going to be a new year, right? You guys know it. Next year's going to be your year, right?
Oh God. No, I'm really tired of blaming the fans because.
Well, that's horse. You know what? That's crap.
I know, and that's where it is. It's like these guys can't take any self blame. Like Matthews coming out saying the passenger thing is unbelievable. You are the captain this year. Maybe if you're playing hurt, like you just shut your damn mouth and you just go by the script that every other NHL player has done in that situation, like Ryan O'Reilly just did, losing to Finland in the shootout, wearing a letter on his jersey. No, Matthews has to get a plug in. He's got his boyfriend behind him, sitting front row with the dumbest jacket on I've ever seen. Like, don't make it about you, Beeps. Game 7. Try not to be a distraction. Nope. I'm going to wear the loudest jacket that exists being on camera. Absolute loser Bieber is too. He can go with him. And just not to have any self-respect in those games and say, you know what? We just didn't do it. We had our chance. We gave ourselves another chance. A lot of people don't after a Game 5 performance like that. You did. Congratulations. And you did nothing with it again.
Yeah.
And one of the saddest things ever, listened to it today, was Carlo talking today on the show. He was there with his son Leo in the box, and Leo never wants to go. And Leo in the third period says, "Dad, can we go?"
Wow.
Game 7, Game 7 at home. Can we go? And that's what Florida did to you. And then they're victory lapping the entire team and the organization, saying that we put too much pressure on them. No, that's just perfect PR from Florida to make sure no one wants to go play in Toronto. No. That's what I take from it.
I don't even know if they need that kind of PR for some people. Like, I mean, you know what I was impressed with from the Toronto fan base? I was impressed that there was noise. I mean, I have covered NHL teams. I think my count is 26 arenas. I've never seen a quieter building than Toronto outside of maybe the Ottawa Senators. And that wasn't the case this year. That wasn't the case this year. So I don't know what the hell you want. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, this is, to be a Leaf player in these situations is like king-like. You have to manifest this and live with. I mean, I guess it takes a certain player, that. Would you rather be playing in Columbus where nobody knows who you are, or everybody jokes about the Dallas Stars and stuff like that? Well, guess what? Dallas is lower than college sports. The Stars are lower than college sports, lower than NASCAR. Don't even get me started about how much difference it is between a Cowboy backup offensive lineman than a Dallas Star superstar like Nico Rantanen, right?
Yeah, pressure. Go talk to Dak Prescott about pressure. Go talk to
Thank you. Exactly.
Yeah. Let's not get out of that way. It's absolutely silly. Pressure's so funny. Like, and I tell my baseball kids, I'm like, you need to know what pressure is. Like, it's palpable. Like, when you feel that and you're worried about it, you've put yourself in a good spot, because people who don't have pressure are people who haven't even gotten to that spot yet. Bingo. Embrace it. They obviously don't. It's a sad spot. Marner's not 13.5 million, not in this city. And I don't even know how you come back from it anyway. Honestly, if he wants to come back, then now it's on him for coming back and taking whatever the city gives him. Because in any other situation, it's just not good. All we got out of that game, Dave, is the Brandon Carlo butt save. That's literally the highlight of that game. We had a goal, and then Woll gives up a soft one, and that's where it was.
Yep. Okay, so I hope there's going to be markets on this, but if you're looking at guys like Marner, Tavares, I would throw Morgan Riley in that conversation.
Got to trade him. But like all these guys have like half no movement clauses. Thanks a lot. Like,
okay, we know no movement is technically no movement, but there's ways of moving no movement. Like
sure.
I don't think I would re-sign John Tavares, even though it's going to be a hometown discount. Or I don't think
3.5.
Well, or really job him down. Exactly. You want to play here? Yeah, you want to be the Jason Spezza of this organization in a couple of years when you're retired, then you're going to take your $3 million a year, or you're going to go somewhere else, and that's fine, right? But the Morgan Riley thing is, I mean, he's this generation's version of Thomas Kaberle. He really is. He's like, he hasn't done anything, and everybody looks at him at number one, but he really isn't a number one.
I've never been angry at a person in the first 10 minutes of a hockey game than I was at Morgan Riley Sunday night in his own end. The Leafs spent the entire first 10 minutes pinned again, just like game 5. And it was just Morgan Riley not being able to get it out. Morgan Riley not winning the battle. Morgan Riley making the first bad decision on the exit, not getting it out. It's you're paid as a number one offensive defenseman. Like, we had to go out and get you a defensive defenseman just to maybe fix something, try to fix something. Yep. And you can't even crack PP1. That's embarrassing.
Yeah, it really is. It really is.
In a position where no other team's running 5 forwards right now. We give up shorties. Like, nah, we'll keep Riley on the bench. But yes,
it's true.
There it is. So, I mean, you can go bigger, but you go. Let's just look at the 4. You go Tavares, Nylander, Matthews, Marner, and Riley. We look at the 5.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty safe to say Matthews and Nylander aren't going anywhere.
No.
Right? Yes.
No, they're not.
But there's a good chance that the other 3 are. Like 60%. What, like minus 200, maybe like -3 to -400 for 2 of them gone. Get close to even money for 3 of them gone. No?
That's interesting. Now I want to see some market prices. I put in the request. We'll see what happens with it. But
it's a hard thing to price.
It is a hard thing to price. And speaking of exiting, Shannon plan. See you later.
Yeah, that's done. I thought that should have been done last year, but I think his contract's up, I think, too, isn't it?
Yeah. And I think now that Keith Pelly's in place, that he's had a year to sit and watch this, and Keith Pelly knows this market very well, being a massive executive in this marketplace in this country for a long time, even before he left for the European Golf Tour. I think that the Brendan Shanahan news probably comes this week. I think that's the first domino, and then we see what happens after that. So,
Nick Pardo said, did the Bruins just extended Sweeney? Is that was he extended already, or no? Is that just news now?
Oh, that's news to me. I got my research staff on it right now, so he'll
let us know, because he was he got the first round draft pick from the Marchand deal, so they said that's good enough.
Yes, 2 minutes ago, Sweeney was extended. Yes. 2-year extension. Yeah.
2 years is a weird extension.
It is. It's kind of like, I kind of like you, but I don't.
Yeah, I don't know where our team is right now.
I'm not. I mean, you're okay, but I mean, you may as well not give the extension. But I guess it's like, I don't want to hire for this position. I don't want to go on Indeed and look for a general manager. We're just going to give you a 2-year extension.
Why don't they put the pricing? Why don't they put the salaries in that thing? Avi, always appreciate it. It says Marner handling by Shanahan is malpractice. The no movement clause, not getting anything for him. I mean, does the NHL get anything for unrestricted free agents who walk? No, it's not like the MLB. You don't get
you don't get the draft pick.
You don't get the draft pick. Nothing. We got nothing.
No, nothing.
Awesome. We got nothing. We just got a guy.
No, but you know what you get. You know what you get. You get $12 million to work with.
Yeah.
You get cap. And in Toronto's case, they spend to the cap, and sometimes getting that kind of financial relief is good, that you can target something else, because there are a couple of free agents on the block that maybe a relief Florida of $12 million. What's that?
They're Florida guys. They don't want to come here.
Well, you know what? You make a good pitch. Like,
I don't know
I mean, Brad Marchand is an unrestricted free agent.
So Sam Bennett.
Well, you don't think you'd want those two guys in here?
Yeah, but I don't think they want to come here.
Well, then make it worth their time to come here.
Oh, yes. Let's overpay Sam Bennett for 18 goals during the regular season so he can.
Sam Bennett brings something else, though. He's like.
So I've realized you can't have 88 and 16 on the same team in the playoffs. They don't.
Yes.
You're only allowed one of those guys, I think. Who
correct? Yeah.
You say, okay, your offensive talent is so high that we won't shout at you for flying by, losing 2-on-1 battles somehow.
Yep.
Not making the right play and turning things over because you're afraid of contact. But you can't have both of them. So Tavares absolutely was on empty by the end of the year after a great regular season. He did nothing on that. Obviously needs some help on that wing because it was just an absolute revolving door. Pacioretty was great, but that's not his spot. Bobby McMahon didn't do anything. Pontus Holmberg. I mean, you're getting healthy. You're getting scratched. And then your second line winger. That's a situation with there.
That's interesting. Yeah. Yeah.
Bob would be knocked out game we play in Florida if we signed Bennett. Yeah, I don't agree. Yeah, I don't want to overpay Bennett, but at the end of the day, things need to change. You got to give at least, I hate the Shannon plan, but you got to give him a little credit for just saying, you know what, I'm just going to stick to my guns on it.
Okay. So,
credit's due.
You've been sticking to your guns for a while though.
I know. I lost $100 to Tim, who a guy in my group chat, who I have the one guy in the group chat who us Leaf fans are like the majority. We're like, this is awful. These efforts are terrible. And then the one buddy, Tim, in the group chat just sitting there going, you guys are the worst fans ever. You guys are awful. What a great year this was. 100 points, division win. Not every team gets to win the cup. You're like,
true.
We've lost Tim as a friend.
No. Yeah. he has left the chat, right?
Yeah.
So, by the way, Sam Bennett made $4.4 million last year, and I don't think it would be an overpay if you offered him a very comfortable $6.5 million a season.
Perez says cap goes up. Panthers give an offer sheet to Nyes to make Leafs pay more. That would be crushing.
Would it ever?
This will be the first year that I know there were a lot of people scoffing at the idea of all of these offer sheets because it hasn't really been a thing outside of who was the offer sheet in Carolina?
Was it Kotkaniemi?
But it sounds like what it was, but yeah, because they didn't think the owner in Carolina had enough money because there was a lot of talk that he was kind of losing money.
Yeah, because he signed that upfront, heavy upfront first year.
Was it Aho? I don't think
so.
No, Aho. It was Aho. It was a massive, Montreal.
Montreal went after Aho after they got Jesper, right? Exactly. Yeah.
So like
there's been other ones too. Like Brendan Shannon has been part of an offer sheet. Scott Stevens back in the day was part of an offer sheet as well. There has been stuff. I mean, if Matthew Nyes, the Pittsburgh will be probably knocking on that door if they have cap room. I think the Chicago Blackhawks are smart to do that. I mean, this guy's a horse too. I mean, it really depends. Like you could put the Leafs in a situation, but they do have the money to counter if that's the case. John Tavares's money's coming off too. I mean, let's add that to the Mitch Marner pile, right? We're at $22 million. So
yes, so the Kotkaniemi was retaliation after Montreal tried to get Aho on it. That's what it was.
Yeah.
But I think we'll see it a lot. I think it will be a lot more prevalent in this offseason than it was before.
Last year, St. Louis Blues with the Edmonton Oilers, right? A pair of players, and those two players that came over, even though Dylan Holloway didn't play in the playoffs, he was a very, very useful player in the regular season, and he's going to be good next year as well, right?
It's kind of an exciting offseason, especially with the cap going up, lots of things moving, and lots of teams realizing that now it's year 3 of the Florida run.
Yeah.
Now you just have to build that. And now guys like Bennett is absolutely going to get paid.
Yeah.
Please do it for Noah Dobson. Andy, big Islanders fan. Yes, I need you guys to get rid of Dobson so Schaefer goes first overall and I don't lose like $1,000.
There you go. There you go.
All right.
Oh shoot.
before we get to the picks, still never got that nice jersey I ordered from Walmart.
You did it.
By the way,
No.
gotta follow that one up. That's a really motivating thing to do right now. Calling people after the Leafs.
You're not checking that mailbox as often as you used to, right?
God,
I know.
No,
is it now I know we're both diehard NHL fans, but in my eyes, it's hard watching NHL hockey now that your team isn't there. Like I'm still gonna watch, but doesn't it feel weird to you?
Yeah. Yesterday, day off, kids at home, wife at work.
Yeah.
Said, let's go to Milton. Let's go to Milton. Let's go.
Yeah.
Go to the theater.
Yes.
I'm like, you know what? Let's get something to eat first. Okay. We went to Lone Star.
Yeah.
Chips on the table with salsa before anything is incredible.
It is. It's a smart idea. That's what that is.
I got quesadillas. The kids got the kids menu. I got a margarita because I had to drown my sorrows. And we sat there next to the world's biggest 9-screen TV, and my kids were laughing at me about the Leafs game, so I couldn't even get it away from there. $60. That's it. That's it's cheap as McDonald's, basically.
That's value, man.
It is
better than right.
And the Minecraft movie.
Okay. Was that any good? Because I've heard mixed reviews.
Jason Momoa is absolutely hilarious in it.
Is he? Okay.
His character it gets you through it. Jack Black is Jack Black, and he's eccentric and kind of annoying.
Yeah.
And the rest of it, no, it was well written. It was funny.
Good.
Green light. We came here for hockey picks. We haven't even gotten anything yet. Okay, here you go. Florida, Carolina. Let's go. Florida minus 130 in the series. Edmonton another minus 120. So the last 6 series, the home team's been a dog the entirety, because Edmonton opened up as like a minus 120 favorite in round 2. All of those teams won the series.
Yeah.
So the favorites went 4-0 in the second round, and now we're seeing Florida minus 130 on the road. We're seeing Edmonton minus 120 on the road. And I don't blame you for wanting to jump on either of those. But we go to the Florida game today. Florida plus 105 on the money line. I don't think this is a spot where you buy Florida.
Not so fast. Yeah.
Right? Game 7, let it get over. Carolina's had a bit of a rest. I think if you want to get on that Florida price, get it after game 1, because the chance of getting that L in the big price is probably a little better.
And you know what? If I'm the Florida Panthers organization, I'm kind of filing a quiet complaint to the NHL that they start first. Like I know arena availability is a big deal, Josh, on this, because there's other things that have been booked, right? I mean, when concerts come through in June or whatever, it's been booked a year in advance. But I'm kind of pissy if I'm a Florida Panther ownership member, a front office guy or girl, that they're going out first.
It makes no sense.
Nope.
Because they couldn't start them on the same day. Game 7 momentum always wins. I don't know about that. I think they have no time. Like, you need to turn things over. Going from Carolina to Toronto is very different. As Andy Francis has shouted many times, Florida and Carolina are actually very similar teams.
Yes. Very deep.
Very deep. And his point is Florida somehow sounds sexier, but everybody shits on Carolina for being the boring hockey team when Florida does the exact same thing. You can't beat them from behind. You have to score first. And when you score first, they can pile it on because you have to chase the game. And both of those teams are really good at holding that lead. So let's get to the plays. You're on Marchand for a point, Lundell for a point, and Hall, that I spelled pot in my script. Obviously have to read it that way. But Taylor Hall for a point of plus 125. On my side, I have both teams to score 2. No. Yes, Josh, that is a boring bet. I like it, but I don't see a lot of scoring in this series, to be honest with you. And like I said,
2 goals isn't that much, Josh. The 2 goals isn't that much.
Tell that to my Maple Leafs at home. I don't think it scored 2 goals in a home game.
That's true.
True. And then I just want a piece of, I wanted Ekblad 3+ shots, plus 240. I said, you know what? I can't spell Goss's Bear's name, so I probably shouldn't put it in there. Let's just go with Ekblad. I said, you know what, Josh, you should learn how to spell Shane Goss's Bear's name. So I got both power play, quarterback, defenseman ones, over 1.5 for plus 210. It's just both of their games right now Forecheck, low, wall game, spit it out, get it on net. And another Andy Francis point. Toronto blocked a lot of shots. Yeah, because they just gave up a ton of shot attempts.
They did.
It wasn't that they were more willing to jump in front of the pucks. They were more willing to give up clean shots from the blue line because, geez, those wingers just don't know how to win a battle, and that puck always seemed to spit out to the top.
Yep, it really did. Just looking at this quickly. So Brad Marchand, I'm just tailing him because of the strong series he had against the Leafs, 8 points against the Maple Leafs, plus 110. If you look at some of his career numbers against Carolina, he's 28 points in 37 career games is pretty good numbers. Obviously a guy that's been in the league for, almost 2 decades is going to stir up his points, but he actually has a really good points per game number against the Hurricanes franchise. Anton Lundell has been so good. Five points versus Toronto in that series, plus 135 was the reason why I like that. And we talked about that Florida third line. So I stacked those two together. I'm okay with going trio as well, because that's probably a good spot for them. Taylor Hall, plus 125, 3 points in his last 3 games, almost a point a game player against the Florida Panthers in his career in 20 career games. So I was looking at that, and a guy that kind of moves up and down that lineup. I mean, you could probably say that about, I don't know, 6 Carolina Hurricane forwards, because they are everywhere. Like Taylor Hall could be playing power play minutes. He could also be playing on the fourth line. The great part about what Carolina has to offer when you're looking at points per game is the 4 lines roll. There's no such thing as the fourth line getting 6.5 minutes. And even if Taylor Hall's on the fourth line, he is going to have substantial, assistance when it comes to trying to score this point at plus 125.
We had a walk prop down there at the bottom from our previous show.
I missed that.
That's all right. Can't get it. I do like the Hall, Roslovic, Stankoven line.
Yep.
I think that's their best line. But honestly, one of my first looks was like what can I get for Tkachuk? No points. What can I get? I think that's kind of where this series is going. And Carolina at home's a tough spot. We didn't see much of that Tkachuk line.
Yep.
In that series, I don't know how healthy he is. Yes, he'll be a factor. Jonathan Davis, appreciate you in the chat. As always, Svechnikov has never scored on Bob. That's a thing. I don't know if he tries to. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I still think that the forward depth, not so much game one here with that you mentioned off the top, the quicker turnaround of the 2 series somehow. I think this is a tough spot. I think if you're going to take Carolina, I think you take them in game 1 here. I think they have a better chance and more time to prepare versus a team that you certainly need to prepare for. It's just going to be a tougher battle for Florida.
Yep.
Honestly, right? Toronto had no forecheck game. It was off. Like, you're okay. They had to worry about the Calle Yarncroc line, Scott Lawton lines on the forecheck. They didn't have to worry about the forecheck with 34 and 88 lines.
No.
Now they're going to see the 3 lines. That top line, Svechnikov's been playing great, but Aho is probably the most dangerous person on that line. Taylor Hall's turned back the clock. But Stankoven is absolutely the most offensive person on that line, including Jack Roslovic. I like it. And then you got that third line. Like I was really close of like putting that Jordan Stahl Martinook combo together for like plus 800 for a point each for the 2 of them. I like it, but I do think that Florida over the course of 6 or 7 games is the better team. No?
Correct. Yes. I would agree with that. I was talking about earlier, I have the Dallas Stars winning their series, and I think they're going to be playing the Florida Panthers. If you're looking at a Stanley Cup finalist prop, because we have those offered as well at Sports Interaction. If you're looking in the future section, Stanley Cup matchups, Stanley Cup outcomes, and then you break down game totals as well, and how many games are actually used, and you can do almost any kind of combination like that.
Who do you think? All right, choose your guy in this series. Who stands out? Who is that guy? Because in the Florida series versus Toronto, it's probably Bob for me. but it was a tough grind. I mean, everybody was scoring. The defense was scoring. I didn't think anybody really stood out other than the Marchand, Listerine, and Lundell line. Who do you see standing out in the series? If you had to give like a series MVP, where is it in the series?
Boom.
On the spot.
You know what? I'm looking at a Sasha Barkov. Points per game, best number by far. And he's going to be the catalyst. I need to see something too. If my Florida Panther bet is going to be successful, Matthew Tkachuk has to contribute more than he did. I know and I'm talking about statistical. You know, the Sams are great. But I think it revolves around the captain just because he's kind of the counter to the Jordan Staal, but with the offensive twist as well. Because he'll be checking number one assignments as well, but still has to go on the offensive. When you look at the two teams, I see more grit on the Florida Panther side. I see more defensive core on the Panther on the Hurricane side as far as 1 through 6. The only serious edge I see in this is the Florida Panthers have the better goaltender by far. Like we know the book on Fred Anderson, and I know he's. Why are you laughing at me?
Because it's Fred Anderson, and I'm looking at the Conn Smythe odds, and it goes Connor McDavid, Mikko Rantanen, and Fred Anderson.
Fred Anderson. I know. But you know what? When they're setting up those odds, they don't know Fred Anderson like you and I know Fred Anderson. Like the chat knows Fred right Anderson.
Now asking if we can get odds for over 1.5 goalies used by Carolina.
Seriously, yes. So if you're looking at Conn Smythe, look way down the list. I look at Jake Ottinger at plus 1,400. If it's not going if I think the Dallas Stars are going to win, or if anybody out there thinks that, there isn't, like Mikko Rantanen, I think is 4-1 right now. So a Jake Ottinger to continue to play in this series against the Oilers to shut down probably the two best players in the world, if successful, and then to move on to a Stanley Cup final and win, plus 1,400 isn't going to be around much longer if he does what I think he can do.
What I've kind of realized, I feel like, because I've been suckered into it every year, those goalie Conn Smythes are overvalued, right? They're always at the top. Yep. I get it. I think there's more value. And I think there's a really good spot right now, Dave, that there's still half of the playoffs left for these 4 teams.
Correct.
Right? Like Mikko Rantanen's had 2 big games.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not going out and getting Mikko Rantanen right now at 5-1.
No.
I did get Thomas Harley. I did get Thomas Harley at 200-1 after that game, though.
Yeah, but are they going to give it to a defenseman that? Well, you know what? See, Thomas Harley isn't a Kel McCarr, though. Maybe one day he will be, or a version of it. But I mean, that's a massive value play. I didn't know it was that high. Wow, yeah, I never looked that far down the list. But yeah, I'm not touching the Rantanen stuff. I hope he does well in the next series because Dallas needs him too. But I mean, you look at what Dallas has to offer up front. 7-8 forwards are rotating into a number one line if they had that scenario kind of thing. So,
and in the chat, bringing up the Florida stuff. Florida's really interesting spot. You got Bob at 8-1, where you're kind of like, not sure. He won some games, but he wasn't incredible. He was probably the betting favorite going down until somehow Connor McDavid won a Conn Smythe on a losing team and didn't even accept the award. They don't want to do that again. Yeah. But he says, what about Marchand leading the way? Absolutely. I like him better than Sam Reinhart, who's 20-1. Matthew Tkachuk, who's 25-1. You go down the list. Like Marchand's close to 40-1 here. That's the best line. Yeah. By far, that has been the best line. And then I know Andy Friend's talking about Slavin. I think there's some openings in that Carolina team too. There are some spots, and this is where you take the spots because the first 2 series have been overblown, and point production was a lot easier facing teams where it's not as tight. And I think that's where you throw Mikko Rantanen kind of out. I know he has like 19 points and leading everybody. I don't think anybody should be out there betting Connor McDavid at 4.5 decimal Canadian odds. I don't think that's your spot because honestly, been everybody else from Edmonton. He hasn't had to take over since like game. What was it? Like game? Honestly, like since like game 1 of that King series where he was on a mission, and they said, okay, maybe some other guys need to jump in.
Bingo. Further to your goaltending point, since 2013, only one goaltender has won the Conn Smythe. It was Andrei Vasilevsky in 2021.
Yep. I really think they're overvalued just because they're the constant within it.
Yep.
I think there's better looks. And I can't wait for the Stanley Cup handoff odds. Those are one of my favorite too. Just like because you can make up your own narrative in it.
Sure you can.
Oh, he has to hand it off to who are they talking about last year? Florida. Who did they bring in who was 100 years old and never played any NHL playoff games? Why am I old? I can't think.
No, Jeff Skinner was on the thing.
Yes, it was Jeff Skinner. Yes.
Was
so
it
they're
Jeff
like,
Skinner? Look at this guy.
No, was it Jeff Skinner? Yeah, they're like, oh, Jeff Skinner. I don't know, maybe I'm right, but we'll give him the cup just because. No, that's it. Thank you, Kyle Okposo. That's who it was.
Kyle Pozo. Yes,
that's who it was. Thank you. And that was the narrative that was driving the market. The market doesn't really.
No,
it's only changing because of the risk, right?
Yeah, and when you look at this, I guess you'd have to do some digging, but I don't think there's a as obvious of a storyline as the Avalanche giving it to Ray Bork. You know what I mean? Like that
100%.
was like minus 10,000 that Ray Bork was going to get the cup.
Okposo was like healthy scratched in the series. Like,
exactly.
I don't even know if he dressed for game 7.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. No, but that's when we get going and we have things to talk about when it's not as much. I'm still heated about Ekblad. Because there's so many things that can throw it away, right? Like in the thrill of the victory, maybe you're just handing it off to the next guy in line too.
By the way, Ekblad, also a free agent. He could come back to your city too, right?
I loved Ekblad.
Yep.
He was a dangerous guy. Seth Jones really impressed me too. I thought he was a Morgan Riley type on just getting his power play 1 numbers. No, he's a big kid.
And by the way, that no goal from Seth Jones was a goal. If Florida challenges that, goal.
Yeah.
But 100%. They didn't. See how nice Paul Maurice is? Best coach in hockey. Nice guy.
He ain't bad. Oh, God. Still hurts. Someone in the chat says, yeah, it takes 2 weeks. Yeah. Oh, and this is Bally says, the Leafs exit interviews just appeared on my timeline. Oh, I'm so excited.
Oh, that's happening right now?
Oh, is it locker cleanout day already?
I guess it would be. Yeah. I guess it would be. Yeah.
If I was a reporter, I would just ask Austin Matthews. You've had time to think about it. Do you still sit with that passengers comment?
Yeah. And name the passengers. I want a list.
Yeah. No, like just because, I mean, sometimes when you get, Dave, like someone jams a microphone in you at like the end of a crushing series loss where fans are littering the ice and you can see beer stains in the middle of, or Pepsi stains in the middle of the ice during play. Yeah, you might say something stupid. So give him some time. What about now? If he still thinks that way, then you're not a captain.
So, well, we're about to, he's a new captain. He's 1 year under his belt, and this might be one of those marquee moments, right? We don't know. I'm kind of curious too. It's locker room cleanup around both the Jets and the Maple Leafs. Jets will be a little bit later on because of the central time zone, but yeah, as we speak, bring it on, Toronto Maple Leafs. What's going to happen?
Last hypothetical here.
Yeah.
You're a Leafs fan.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to Cancun trip, 7 days. Let's say you go for a big one, 10 days.
Yeah, that is a big one.
That is a big one.
I could only handle like 5 on those.
I deserve it, Dave. Yeah. I'm going for 10 days.
That's a lot, man.
And you show up there, and there's Matthews, there's Marner, also there. Day 1, day 2, you're like, no, respect their privacy.
Yep.
How many days before you say something? The entirety of drinking in the afternoon, and they're like,
yeah,
great series, 34. Like that will come out at one point. At which day of day 10 does that come out?
Oh, geez. Okay, so putting myself in a Leafs fan perspective, it's not right off the top. It's probably
you're talking about it. You're manifesting it.
Yes, of course you are. You want to go right up to them because you've been manifesting it as a Leaf fan since they blew the final horn, right? I mean, it's been in your head, and now it's like a couple days after that, couple days after this, you get on your flight on a Wednesday to Saturday. There's your 10 days right there, right?
Yeah.
You know what? By the weekend, by Friday,
Talking to your wife, you're pacing in the room, being like, I gotta say something. If I don't say something, it's gonna eat me alive.
Yeah. Yeah. And before you initiate something like that too, you have to make like face contact with them multiple times throughout those first couple of days.
Set it up for sure.
To establish, right? Establish.
So that's why I give you the 10 days where it's like, all right, now it's getting crazy where you're like, all right, so this is Monday. You're like, I want to say something by Thursday.
Yep.
By Monday, I have to accidentally bump into them and pretend they're just a normal person.
Bingo. Oh, hey. Yeah.
Yeah. Or yeah. Hey, need a drink. Hey, you need to hold your chair or something. Yeah. Something that there's a crossover. Cool.
Yes. Yeah.
And then maybe the second day, it's like, I thought I recognized you. Right?
You put on that acting hat, eh? I love it.
Not the IP and pools hat. No.
Yep.
And then by Saturday, you're fighting Austin Matthews in Cancun because you've said some terrible things to him.
It's true.
And ruined his vacation.
Yeah, it's very true. I picture him more of a Turks and Caicos guy. So
maybe really, I gotta go to Turks and Caicos.
Yeah, and it you know, it's there's a lot of money in Turks and Caicos. Cancun's for me and you.
They can buy their way away from Leafs fans, right? Like
it's so true.
That's probably what they have to worry about. Like they're like, oh, I hope I don't see any Leafs fans out here.
Seriously, yeah. And good luck to you. They're everywhere.
Yeah, not this guy. I thought I recognized you. Regular guy, but he's been thinking about it for like 4 months. He's planned it.
My favorite are the ones that will ask him for a picture, and then the next day they'll say, okay, so game 7. So make sure you get the picture first.
Oh Lord, yes. This is Bally's already talking with our McDavid to Toronto situation. That would be, I know.
Of course.
But I can't fight with Oiler fans right now. They deserve everything. They do. Bad roster. I thought at the beginning of the playoffs. Look where they are.
By the way, Matthias Ekholm skating full practice yesterday.
Like the books are smarter than I am. I'm realizing that, Dave. I'm realizing that.
Only sometimes.
Why is Edmonton a favorite? versus Vegas?
Only sometimes. Josh, I have faith in you.
In big market stuff, yes. On the niche stuff, like teams to score 2 goals. No, look out. Look out. All right, that's what we got today. I appreciate everybody there. Great chat, as always. Nice to get some things off the chest so I don't have to take it out on everybody in my house when they get home.
This is
Venting.
true.
It helps. Talk
to
people. It
really does.
For sure. Yeah, my kid drops water, and I don't need my Leafs rage turning into cleaning up that mess. I don't need it.
Water makes such a stain, though. You know what I mean? Especially after a Game 7 loss. Yeah.
Tuesday in the books. We got a game today. Edmonton's been off for a long time. Somehow they get another day off. That's what happens tomorrow. Back with Carlo tomorrow for that. But those are the plays down there. Third, I don't even know what we're calling this, Florida. I think it's a top line. DeMarchand, Lundell, Listerainen, and then the Hall. So both those lines, I really like both teams to score 2 goals. No for me. And then some PP1 D-men. We should see a little more power play earlier in the series before it gets wiped away. That's what I'm going at, and that's what we got. Hit that like button on the way out if you haven't already. Thanks for letting us vent. Josh Ingles, David Bastel, Sports Interaction, NHL Puck Props covers. Sports Interaction has you covered for all these bets. We'll see you next week, pal. Appreciate it.